This is Join the Crowd Radio.
See, when you go out there, baby, I want you to talk to the crowd.
Yeah. This is your boy Motzy Made It of MotzyMadeIt.com. This is Join the Crowd Radio. This is our segment called Talk to the Crowd. The owner of Tripple Ess Consulting and Management, creator of Elitist Eyewear and Accessories, founder of Bizarre Brown Boss Finance, and CEO of ExHemplified Incorporated, CBD Hemp Company. She's a hustler for real, Miss Shaya Brown. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. What's up, Motzy? How you been?
I'm good. Just want to let the world know this is Talk to the Crowd on Join the Crowd Radio on behalf of Anchor.fm. You will hear this on Spotify. You will see the visual on IGTV, which is Instagram, as well as on YouTube. All right, so before we tap into all the dope business endeavors that you have, let's talk about what was 5-year-old say it like, what was 10-year-old say it like, what was 15-year-old say it like, what was 20-year-old say it like.
Go way back. 5-year-old Shaya, very hard to remember. Up under my mom, just, regular little girl, long hair, living life, stayed with my grandmother. While my mom worked, she had me young, so right. She had to get on her grind early on.
Mom did too, so that's understandable.
Yeah, so had to leave me with grandma, so she could go and do her thing. 10-year-old Shaya, in school, just learning the ways of the world a little early, not having a dad around, just trying to fill in some holes at a young age. 15-year-old Shaya, getting the grasp, getting a better grip of who I am and what I want to do as far as life, school, job. I started working at 14, so nice. I was very familiar with getting my start in the job life. Absolutely. And making a way for myself, setting up your own thing, saving money, those kind of things.
As you should.
20-year-old Shaya was basically underway Hayes Gray. I joined the military at 18, so I was very much so in the military life. I retired 20 years last year.
Congrats.
Thank you. So I was very much into the military life, very structured, definitely in a leadership position by default. It's been that way my whole life. So that was 20-year-old Shaya, having, I guess you could say in a way, kind of having things handed to me, because in the military there's a lot of things that you're given that you don't think about on the civilian side. And having gone in so young, there's a lot of things that I had, but now being a civilian, it's like, okay, I got to deal with that now. So and that was 20-year-old Shaya, gung-ho, military, traveling the world, getting an education, those kind of things, just real green, but at the same time on my own and doing my thing.
Absolutely. Not to dabble too much into it, but let's talk about that time in the service. Like, how did it have an impact in your life as far as like any issues, situations, sacrifices?
Yeah, so being in the military is definitely a sacrifice. If you don't have your own immediate family, depending on when you go in, you sacrifice time with your personal family. I left home at 18, and my baby sister never let me live it down.
Oh, wow.
My mom, now, since I was gone so long, she really wants me to come home. I'm almost like 40 now, and she still wants me to come home because, just the time missed with my siblings growing up, my nieces and nephews now growing up. It's a lot. It takes away a lot. Being away from your home country, and now more so than ever, being a black person, let alone a black female, serving in the military for a country that, as we can see, really doesn't honor us and respect us as a people. So you're saluting the flag and you're saluting officers and you're living in a regimen and serving to protect and putting your life on the line for a country that wouldn't do and the same for you and doesn't protect you. So early on, when I was younger, it was really about having a steady paycheck, getting an education, traveling the world. But later on, as I went through, it was more like, okay, this is really no different than the outside world. It's just a mini version of America. All the issues you have in America, you still have in the military, just on a more microscopic scale. And it got to the point where I couldn't wait to get out, but I had made a commitment and a promise to myself that I would have this be my first retirement. So I stuck it out. I was able to be an influence to a lot of people while I was in, still doing good things. But, I definitely understood where we stood as Black people in the military. And, now that time is done, I can definitely see it that what it is outside the military is exactly what it is inside the military. So I'm still fighting the same fight on the outside.
Right. Could you see yourself ever going back, or would you ever do that over if the opportunity was there? Would you not do it?
If I had the opportunity to do it again, I would, but I definitely wouldn't stay in as long. I would, knowing what I know now, I would definitely take advantage of things sooner. So instead of, going 20 years and getting a retirement check for the rest of my life, that's cool. But with the knowledge I have now, I could definitely do 6 years or 8 years, right, and set myself up for the same thing, and then be out and move on with my life and have finished at maybe like 26, 27, 28, as opposed to 38, 39.
Makes sense. Absolutely. So let's get into some of these businesses, right?
Yeah.
How did you, let's start with the first one, Tripple Ess.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So that's the main vein right there. That came about partially because of the military, being away from home and being in a new place, Virginia, and learning a lot about the area and meeting tons of new people. Once people realize that a lot of people, they start to come to you for a lot of things. So in about 2008, 2009, I would have people who needed things, whether it be music related, business related, brand related. They wanted to be connected with people. And it got to a point where I was always connecting people with other people for whatever they needed. Right. And sometimes it would get exhausting because not only it's like, oh, you need pictures, here's a photographer, y'all two meet. It was, you need pictures, here's a photographer, let's set the date. I'll be on set because y'all don't know each other, so I'll be the common denominator to make sure everything goes smooth. So it started to turn into a lot more than just connecting people. And after doing that for really a few months, just off the love, I was like, I wonder if people will pay for this. I wonder if people will pay to be connected and to have somebody guide them through whatever it is they're trying to do with their business. And it took me a minute to get started because I had my doubts, because once you start putting a price tag on stuff, people get a little funny. So, but then I was like, either you're going to do it or you're not. So what you got to lose? So I went ahead and did it, and I've been rocking with it ever since. It became official in 2014 and been going hard ever since.
Right. And there is like a merch brand connected to that as well, right?
Yeah, just promotional merch. I got on one of the tees now. Says Trap Professionally. Basically what that means is I am definitely not the corporate type of chick. So you won't catch me in, the nice little blazer and the pencil skirt unless I absolutely have to for meeting purposes, because it just depends on where you are. But I'm definitely an advocate of being yourself and being myself. And so I have apparel to reflect that, so you can trap, you can get it in, you can grind hard, and be yourself. If you're hood, if you street, whatever you are, you can be that and still be professional and still get the job done and still run your business. So that's what that stands for. And it's a few tees and hats and stuff associated with that I push with the business.
That's dope, because people got to realize we spend a lot of our time going to these jobs, working for these corporations and these businesses, and we're actually getting them rich. We never take our time to step out of that to get ourselves wealthy or to establish our own businesses. So it's good that you can put those two ideas together, create a brand that's helping people, but also have a merch brand attached to it. It's pretty dope.
Right. And so another thing we're learning about these businesses is that these corporate companies and jobs, and there's nothing wrong with being an employee, working a 9 to 5 or anything like that, but just have your own plan. And we make long-term commitments with these businesses. Like we plan on retiring with them, and clearly COVID-19 and these layoffs and furloughs and firings and companies going out of business has shown that they do not have long-term plans for us. So you always have to have something for yourself.
Of course. I mean, I feel like this is the time where the thinkers and the innovators and the people who have business ideas and they have brand ideas, all this time that you had to sit down gave you a lot of opportunity to think. So I'm hoping that a lot of people utilize that time to think and to come up with ideas. Mm-hmm. So how did you create the Elitist Eyewear brand? Where did that come from?
So Elitist Eyewear, actually, funny enough, it started off as me just testing marketing methods. I just wanted something simple, like a simple item that I could, mark up and sell, but at the same time kind of keep it simple just to test out things. And sometimes you kind of have a golden touch, I guess, and it kind of took on an identity of its own. I really didn't. Tripple Ess, I intended for that to go where it is going, but Elitist Eyewear and accessories, I did not. I didn't really think it would be around long once I finished playing with it, but it did, and I eventually ended up getting it incorporated because it was doing so well. And now, just selling the accessories, eyewear, keeping it simple, is picked up. It has an identity of its own, and people just like to be fly and get the cute eyewear and stuff for the low.
Absolutely. Now, what's the purpose of Bizarre Brown Boss Finances?
So Bizarre Brown Boss, the platform that I get all my financial literacy and knowledge from, and that I'm able to use is with World Financial Group. People can look that up. It's basically a financial services company and a platform that just helps people financially. It gives them information, connects them to the services that they need for savings, retirement, all those kind of things. So instead of going the route where I represent them fully, sometimes with our people or just in life in general, you have to represent things your way in order to reach the people that you want to reach. So I came up with Bizarre Brown Boss because, I'm brown, I'm working to be a boss. And sometimes it's bizarre to see us in the field talking about finances and teaching people about taxes and savings and growing your money and things like that. So that's why I came up with Bizarre Brown Boss, and that's based on just helping share financial literacy predominantly to the Black community, answering questions, setting up plans, and just letting them know that money and saving money and leaving a legacy and wealth building is for us too. We don't have to wait until people are done with things to delve into them, or we don't have to wait until it's too late to get started to find out more about these things. Like having wealth and understanding money is something that we need to be more keen on, and that's what Bizarre Brown Boss is about.
That's good. Now, I know you got ExHemplified CBD, right? Let everybody know what's the health benefits of not only investing in that, but also allowing people to be able to heal from using CBD.
Yeah, so we all know that the cannabis market is about to explode.
Thanks.
Hemp and with marijuana as well, with the legalization and decriminalization of it. So I was in a mastermind group, and one of my homegirls, she has a hemp connect in our area. So, I was doing my research and things like that. And of course now, especially medicinally, people are looking for alternatives. People are sick of taking this medicine that from pharmacies and big pharma that causes one problem after another. It's very expensive.
It's designed that way.
And it's really not helping. So one of the things I've learned about the government and things like that is usually if it's something that they're desperately trying to keep you away from, you probably should look into it.
Absolutely.
And of course, when we go to the doctors and stuff and you start talking about holistic regimens and remedies, they get upset with you. They get out of pocket. So it's like, well, why are you so angry? If I want to smoke something green that I think could help, why not? Why are you not with me on me getting healthy? Why are you just bent on me taking your way and costing me all this money? So, the holistic approach is becoming extremely popular. And I just wanted to be a little more knowledgeable on it. And that mastermind group just afforded me the opportunity to get into the field where I can help people with that. It is great for calm, relaxation, handling anxiety, depression, and all of this is without the THC.
Right.
So what that means is, you can smoke it, you can make tea, you can make edibles with it, you can make topical solutions and balms without if you work without popping positive on a drug test, because there's no THC. There's two sides to the cannabis tree, if you will. You know, you got the THC side and you got the hemp and the CBD side without all the THC. So that's a huge benefit of it, because sometimes people want the relaxation factor of marijuana, but you can't take it because of testing. Pop positive on the test. So I got into that field, and I also have a friend here who has his own farm. So I've started working with him, and right now we got, of course, the premium hemp flower. I have bath bombs, a roll-on gel for like the outside, and then I also have an oil for ingestion.
And then, gotta send me some of that stuff. Definitely spread the word.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can send you some of that, and I mean, it's just good to be in the field that helps people feel good, if you know what I mean.
And it's beneficial for the future. Like the hemp plant,
yes,
and the cannabis plant has been around for centuries, for ages. And there was always health benefits to it, but because we live in a society where the criminal empire is so high, they found ways to put that plant in reference to being a criminal, which is sad, because at the end of the day, they know lawyers, judges, police officers, 9 out of 10, they smoking it before work, after work. But they're putting these systems to criminalize people that smoke it or sell it. So it's good to see that turnaround coming around. Absolutely. I appreciate that. So with all your brands, your businesses, everything that you got going on, what do you feel like is like the next step for you? Like in the next coming months, years, like what's your direction?
Well, right now I'm working on, because when you do a lot, you tend to be all over the place.
Right.
And some people will say that you should focus on one thing and perfect that. And some people say, you know, it takes multiple revenue streams to fund a dream, so you should do as much as you can handle. And that's kind of the side that I'm on. So one of the things that I'm focusing on right now is just basically streamlining those businesses, making them as efficient as possible so that I can handle them, because I'm solo right now. And actually getting them to a point where they start to build, because with businesses you can make transactions all day. You can spend money and you can make money. You can spend money, you can make money. But what the money that you're making, what exactly is it doing? What exactly is it building? And I think as business owners, sometimes we forget that element. It's like, for example, I use Elitist Eyewear because that's an actual tangible item. So I can sell sunglasses and I can sell accessories, cool, and I make that money. But if I take that money and I go and I buy more accessories, you know, I'll increase my inventory. But what is the money doing for my business in the background? Is it invested in stocks? You know, is it in a CD or an IRA or something where it can actually build wealth as a business? And I think that's the part that sometimes we forget as a business owner. So I'm streamlining my business and getting things in order for, you know, financial accountability, operations accountability for all my businesses, and just making sure that they're actually producing and doing the best that they can do, because we all get into this thing to make money. We all get into these businesses to hopefully retire and be able to sustain our life. But if we don't pay attention to that aspect of it, you'll just be buying and selling. You know, that's it.
Product and services.
Right. It won't really build anything for you. In the future, you know, despite these COVID streets, you know, I'm hoping to attend more events and to put on more events. My networking events, I like to not just have people network, but to have specific people in place. So, you know, if there's something that you're particularly interested in, you can actually go talk to the people and get information about how to start, what it's like, you know, not just exchange phone numbers and maybe you'll call somebody when you need them and maybe you won't.
Right.
And just be a part of people who are actually progressively moving forward in what they're doing and want to make a difference in our community, with commerce and business and economic growth. Also, me personally, I'm looking forward to connecting with people like that, but outside of the not commercial, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want this to sound bad, but outside of what we normally do as business, like we sell the t-shirts, lashes, eyewear, you know, things like that, that don't really, while business wise, that's great, but they don't really have anything sustainable to do with building our community and moving us forward as a people. Right. You know, absolutely. So I'm definitely looking into getting connected with people like that and dealing with organizations like that. Like, okay, as a people, to have our own, to build ourselves up in our community, so where we can kind of move away from everything that's going on around us. I'm sure we'll get into that later. What are we doing? Like, and when these things happen, people are like, oh, buy black, everything black, buy everything black. I'm like, but we don't have it where it counts in the industries. We don't have a stake in the industrial industry. We don't have warehouses producing the things that we need. We don't have utility facilities for lighting, water, sewer, those things that we have that would make an actual community sustainable. One of my keys is positioning. So I'm like, if we don't have those things, we need to put ourselves in a position to be a part of those things so we have a say and we can actually reap the benefits of having people in the right places. So that's where I'm looking to go. That's where I'm looking to push my businesses and, my behind the scenes business investments into those kind of organizations, things like that, because that should be why we're doing it, is to circulate the dollar, one, amongst our community, and to help build our community and our people. And I'm a firm believer in that. So
absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. I mean, you have to put yourself in the situations where it's beneficial for you, but it also encourages the people around you to get into business, to put themselves in situations to help the community, to build generational wealth, but also spread the wealth as well, whether it be through knowledge, finances, products, services. One of my things is I want to be able to have my own gardens. You see what I'm saying? And within those gardens, I want to grow my own produce, sell my own produce to my own people, so that way we don't have to go into these grocery stores and buy these tomatoes with pesticides in them, and get these bananas that as soon as you buy them 2 days later, they go dead. So that's one of the things that I'm looking into as far as just buying land. And once you buy land, that's bigger than buying a duplex or buying a house or buying an apartment. You see what I'm saying? Land is definitely where it's at. So that's something that my brain has been working on and manifesting.
Yeah, I just read an article about a family that bought 90 acres of land to start a black community. Right. And it's like, when you have people that's making those kind of moves.
Can I cut you off real quick? The smartest person that I've seen that bought land that everybody calls cool, he's crazy, he's insane, is Kanye West. He went over to Wyoming and bought all that land over there, like tons and tons and tons of acres. And he's building everything over there. Even though on the surface of what we see on social media, we might call him crazy, but he went over to Wyoming and started buying acres of land over there. And I was just like, yo, that's the smartest thing that he could have done. So
but of course, they always make people look crazy when they're doing things that they should be doing. That way, they don't get the support and they don't get the backing and they don't get the recognition that they need in order to really make things work. So, I mean, I'm used to, and I'm kind of overhearing our people are crazy. So either you're doing the right thing or you're doing something wrong. If they're doing the right thing, cool, get behind it if you agree. If they're doing the wrong thing, okay, then what's the real answer? What's the solution? People thought that the Wright brothers was crazy when they talked about building an airplane, but they did it. You know what I'm saying? So, and they were considered crazy for their time. So, I mean, I guess it could be a badge of honor sometimes to be considered crazy for what you're doing, because more than likely, you're doing something right, or doing something productive, or doing something that's gonna last.
Absolutely. So, talk more about that family you was talking about that was buying the land.
Oh, so it was an article I saw on Facebook, social media. Some things catch my attention, and so they bought it with the specific goal in mind to build a community on it, an all-black community on it. And so what I'm saying is that we have to pay attention to people like that, and like you said, Kanye West, people who are out here buying land, to what we can do to build it. Because we can't build it with t-shirts. I mean, you can build it with the money generated by your business if you give an input and you invest. But on the surface, it takes a lot more in-depth research. It takes a lot more in-depth participation in finding the resources to get those kind of goals up and going. And in times like this, with like George Floyd and with the recent shooting, we are very hard on each other. So it's like all of a sudden everybody wants to buy black, which is great, but the rest of the year, these businesses are basically sustaining on what they make on a daily basis. And so the influx actually has a negative effect on businesses, because it's like now it's hard to handle such an influx. And people think that we're supposed to build these communities and have manufacturing places already ready to go, and that's not the case. And once they see that those things aren't happening as fast as we would like, or they get turned off. But we shouldn't be doing it to make white people mad. We shouldn't be doing it, let's have a blackout day and where we don't spend any money and show them our power. No, they don't care. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like we should be doing this every day as a lifestyle, making a shift towards these things.
Don't do it for a day. Do it for
exactly,
a lifetime.
like do it so we have this legacy to leave forever. So as we move, we set things up, our children set things up, our children's children set things up. So eventually we get to that place where we are self-sustaining, with land and all the resources that we possibly need. And we can actually go back to, or be a new age Black Wall Street, and hopefully they leave us alone, because that's what they act like they want. They want us to leave. They don't want to be bothered. So, we have our own place and we're sustaining ourselves, and we don't need any outside assistance. So to say, not outside business, but outside assistance, that we should be fine. But it's a mindset that we have to shift into every day. Like everything we use, your toothpaste, your, clothes, anything that you can do, like just make a contract. Like, can I get this from a Black owned company? Let me see. Right. Or can I invest this into a project to help better my community, or any projects nationally that have our best interests at heart and are really trying to make moves for us. Let me find that out. Like, that's just the stuff that has to be on your mind. And I'm finding out it's not a lot of people who have the patience to do that.
I mean, we're put in a bubble in a sense, because we have sports, we have entertainment, we have fashion, we have music, we have television, and all those things are programmed, in my mind, to take us away from the things that we really need to be doing.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you got to learn how to deprogram yourself if you want to do better for yourself. It's just that simple. If you want to do better for yourself, deprogram yourself, because society is designed for you to be a person that's considered a buyer. I want you to buy this, 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 I want you to buy this. We live in America. America's society is built off debt. So as long as they can keep us in debt, us meaning no matter who you are, gay, straight, black, white, orange, green, purple, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, whoever you are, as long as you're a person that's buying, you're going to always be in debt. So your mindset has to be, when can I become a seller? Or when can I become an investor? Or when can I become an entity, a product, a business, a CEO? And that's when you'll start to see life change for you,
Right.
I just want everybody to know that this is Talk to the Crowd Radio.
Yep.
Join the Crowd Radio. Your boy Motzy made it, of MotzyMadeIt.com. JoinTheCrowd.com. Talking to the one and only Save. So let's get into all your social media contacts. Let everybody know where you at, your websites, your URLs.
Ooh, Lord. I got a few. When you have a few businesses, you have a few pages that you run.
So
primarily I am Shaya Smith. That's my personal page on Facebook. And then, of course, I have business pages on Facebook. Tripple Ess Consulting and Management, Elitist Eyewear, two E's after that for Elitist Eyewear. Bizarre Brown Boss, and ExHemplified Lives is the CBD hemp page.
Spell it out for everybody so everybody can know exactly how you spell it.
ExHemplified. Yeah. ExHemplified is ExHemplified. ExHemplified. So there's like hemp in the middle, kind of catchy, razzle dazzle,
It is catchy, absolutely.
Yeah, so those are the pages on Facebook, and then they also have the corresponding Instagram pages for Tripple Ess Consulting and Management. That one is the S word, TheEssWord. It's kind of like my business, but a little bit personal page. Then there's Elitist _Eyewear, ExHemplified Lives, and Bizarre Brown Boss, all on Instagram. Websites are www.thesword.com, elitisteyewear.com. Bizarre Brown Boss is a Linktree link, so you would put in, www.linktree / Bizarre Brown Boss. Nice. And ExHemplified Lives is www.exhemplifiedlives.com.
Absolutely. Like I said, put this together for actual people with real life issues, real life situations, actual dreams, real life sacrifices. That's what Talk to the Crowd is all about. This is going on Join the Crowd Radio. I'm your boy Motzy Made It of MotzyMadeIt.com. Join the crowd. Just want everybody to really tap into what Shaya is talking about. I've known her for a long time. It's great to do an interview with her. You guys get some insight and get in touch with her as soon as possible.
Hit me up. I'm active out here.
Absolutely. You need some help. You need some consulting. You need some finance advice. Definitely get with her. I want to say thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Until we talk again.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Bless.
See, when you go out there, baby, I want you to talk to the crowd.